you can see from the position description that I read out that there's a lot of detail there, and there are a lot of answers to the question, what did you do? In the accomplishments, we're going to answer some questions beyond what did you do, because what did you do is going to show up in the resume, in the description of the accomplishment. And let's look at this one and see what we learn. Repositioned products in the educational sector to be the provider of choice for public university administrative systems, including headcount freeze, resulting in 15% market growth and recognition in the software sector. So what do we know about that person from that bullet? What kinds of conclusions, if you were a hiring manager, what kinds of conclusions would you draw about that person?
Well, the first thing I noticed is that this person in his key accomplishments was clear on what the benefit was to the organization.
Right. So, oh, look, this candidate focuses on the benefit to the organization. So, and then here's another comment, 15% growth shows an impressive result. What else shows up there? Another result becoming a provider of choice. One of the other things that shows up there is something that people rarely include in stories, and that is a problem. A lot of people, when they put down their stories, basically just put down the result. But a result is not as attention-grabbing as a result that's achieved by overcoming some obstacle. And what's the obstacle in this bullet? The headcount freeze. Mm-hmm. It would have been easier to do without the headcount freeze, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a kind of detail that catches people's attention, because the people who they're hiring, if there were no problems that ever came up in doing all the things that were required for that job, then they wouldn't be hiring us with the experience that we have, and they wouldn't be paying somebody the salary they're going to pay us for the experience we have. Because if there are no problems, you don't need somebody with that much experience. So if you can include something in your bullets that show the kinds of things that you overcame, then you're going to make a better impression. So let's look at the next accomplishment. Coordinated with customer service staff to implement major retooling of database capabilities, securing supplemental budget, satisfying client need, and attracting new insurance industry clients. What did people overcome there?
The major thing is that they retooled, they made a systems change that improved client services.
Right.
And attracted new clients.
Right. So they did something that presumably benefited their existing clients, and in addition, they attracted new clients. There's another thing in there that shows initiative.
Coordination.
Yeah, well, that shows a good capability, and that's why we lead with it, because that's the most important feature that we're talking about in this bullet. What would have happened if they hadn't secured supplemental budget? Wouldn't have happened. So they took some initiative and secured a supplemental budget in order to get the success that they got. So you're beginning by doing that, adding that detail, you're including a little bit of a story. And last month, we talked a lot about stories, and that will be online if you want to look at it again. But one of the things that I talk about is the fact that for something like 5,000 or 10,000 years, the only way we had to communicate with each other was via stories, because writing hadn't been invented yet. And that's a part of our brain that is well and securely cemented into the way in which we approach things in stories. If you spend time over the next day or two and listen to how much of communication that you get, you will find out that a lot of people are telling you little stories in whatever they tell you. And you'll find out also that that's what you're doing as well. You're putting things in context and talking about not just what happened, but how it happened. Because a lot of the people you're competing with in the job market may have nice accomplishments to put down on a piece of paper, but a lot of people won't think to put down how they achieve those accomplishments. And it's those extra things that we do that capture the attention, if we share them, that capture the attention of the people who are listening to us or reading our resumes. We make a stronger impression because they'll think not only check, 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 he can do this, that, or the other, but they'll think, this is somebody who I can envision working with. Here's somebody who can solve problems for me. Here's somebody who sets out to do something and takes some extra initiative. Here's somebody who shows off some abilities beyond what is required, the first verb of the bullet, and does other things along the way to get a superior result, not just a good result.